Top five, top five, top five.
Yeah, girl, you ready to do this? You ready to count this thing down? We're doing the top five, her. Yeah, let's set it off with 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ranked Top 5 List of Stuff That Don't Matter. I'm your host, Tuong La, and I'm with a bunch of gamers, man, on today's episode who also happen to love some music and who also happen to be in their Final Fantasy right now, whatever that means to them. I'm really excited because I'm once again doing a music video game episode, which is like one of my favorite niche things to do. This episode has been in the making for, gosh, I don't even know, like 5 months, 6 months. I don't know. It's been a long ass time because we've been kind of ramping up to the release of a certain Final Fantasy game that's coming out. But before I get ahead of myself, I want to introduce my first guest who has basically appeared, I think actually not just basically, literally appeared on every single video game music episode. I'm talking about Spencer Moreland. Hey, everyone.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Spencer.
It wouldn't be a video game music episode without me. And,
It's true. Okay, brag much.
Yeah.
Spencer, we have a lot to say about you. Actually, no, let's talk about it now. You're not even a Final Fantasy fan per se.
No, the person next to me is, though, apparently. They have lots of merch. Next to me is Mariel.
Mariel, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, I'm very nervous because I'm afraid people will steal my songs, but I'm happy to be here.
It's okay. We're all fellow travelers. We're all in the same party here. We're all leveling up together, and we don't leave any man or woman down because we have many Phoenix Downs in our pockets. So, little Final Fantasy gag for people at home who don't know. Mariel, do you want to introduce the final guest for us?
Oh, I'm not sure I know him. Just kidding. Hi, Josh. This is Josh. Yeah, he's great.
Josh, are you great?
I am great.
Yeah.
I am. It is. It's true. It's true. My Final Fantasy is being able to have self-esteem.
That's great.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. You know, at the beginning of the show, I said everyone's going through their own Final Fantasy. Maybe it's not literally in the video game. Spencer, what's your Final Fantasy?
Oh, my God.
We're getting deep.
Yeah. Getting through this episode while seeming like I know what I'm talking about, even though I don't know that much about the games.
I'm going to get back to you in just a second because that's definitely a can of worms we got to open.
Yeah.
Mariel, no pressure, but what's your Final Fantasy in life?
To gain some self-esteem.
Oh my God. Everyone on this podcast has low self-esteem. But you know what? We have high esteem for ourselves on our knowledge of Final Fantasy music. I'd like to say that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we're good at.
That's why we're here.
But I want to pivot it back to Spencer because we're not letting him off the hook because, again, he's just like an enigma. Spencer finds his way into the pod cavern and all these video game music episodes. Literally, I invite him most of the time because he's so knowledgeable and he loves it so much. So when I came up with this topic for the release of Final Fantasy 16, which I'm pretty sure this will come out around that time or just before, I was like, Spencer, you like video game music. This is like, you love music. You love everything. What's the deal with Final Fantasy? And you're like, I don't play it. I've never really played it, but I like the music. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, if you know anything about video game music, like Final Fantasy music is in the conversation as some of the greatest music. And like when people talk about how some of the most amazing, most beautiful modern music is video game music, a lot of times they bring up Final Fantasy music in that conversation. So with the games, I love the aesthetic of Final Fantasy. As a teenager, 7, 8, 9, and 10, I would always try to get into them. The thing is, at some point, the leveling up, the grinding, the turn-based combat, it doesn't grab me on a video game level, and it ultimately means I never finish the games because I get kind of bored with the gameplay, even though obviously I love the music, I love the character designs, the concept art is that beautiful watercolor, gorgeous stuff. So I do have an appreciation for the Final Fantasy music, and I think if anything, I'll bring a perspective of not having as strong of an association with the games, maybe, and
it's
just
true.
More about the music itself, because that's kind of my way in with it.
Because I really like that perspective, because you are really really ranking it based on its musical prowess, where the rest of us, I think we come, I'm speaking on behalf of all of us, but maybe that's not true. For me, I have a really deep attachment to the Final Fantasy series, playing Final Fantasy 3 on the SNES, which we later found out was Final Fantasy 6. From then on, I was playing essentially all of the Final Fantasies, most of them, I would say. And yeah, I mean, it's right up my alley. It's anime, it's spiky hair, it's a lot of really, really good storytelling, and also incredible music. And to your point, Spencer, I mean, yeah, the turn-based combat, I think, yeah, turns a lot of people off. Not a lot of people love that type of gameplay anymore. Some people do, I do, but even Final Fantasy, the creators are pivoting away from that. They've become more real-time action games. Would you agree with that, Josh?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was going to roast you incessantly, but then was also like, yeah, that's fair. I think the time where I would have devoted just a lot of my like spare time to playing a number of random encounters and just have to like do 2-minute fights each time because it's turn-based. That time is long past. I need action. I need it now, baby.
Yeah,
we're on the same page.
Yeah, and the recent Final Fantasy games for like the real-time action have been really incredible. And I mean, like the most popular Final Fantasy game is not even a real-time action game; it's an MMO. So there you go. Yeah, Mariel, how about yourself? What's your attachment to Final Fantasy?
My Final Fantasy story.
Yeah, tell me your origin.
When I was younger, I thought I was going to marry Squall. It was a real.
He's hot.
Oh, he's so
got
hot.
That
and then you find out.
He's got a
and then
gun
you find out
blade.
he's like 17 or something.
Yeah,
I used to know all of their birthdays and like their lore. I was obsessed. I printed everything out and just read over their profiles, which sounds so pathetic, but
it's okay.
It is.
I understand.
I'm very excited for 16, but I haven't played any of the previous ones because, well, maybe like I played 14, but like, yeah, that between 12, 13, I remember starting 13 and it was just so linear. And again, like I'm past that phase of just, I love open world games, of course, Zelda. And yeah, it kind of drifted off. And then I hear a lot of bad reviews and, you know, like the quality. So I'm very hyped for 16. I've heard a lot of good things, but you know, it's hard. Like I've been burned before. So I'm going to give it a chance. But yeah, and I love Final Fantasy VIII.
That's your baby, Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh yeah, I wasn't any good at it. I played it when I was like 8 or something. I was like, what's all the junction stuff? But I used to actually play my brother's game and go straight to disc 4 just so I could watch the final scene. Like the amount of times I beat Ultimacia just to see the end, I can't even explain. But
I want to, your story reminds me of something. I promise we'll get to the meat of the episode soon, but it reminds me of this story that I forgot until you started speaking about your Final Fantasy VIII stuff. Final Fantasy IX, one of my most vivid memories, I played it, I loved it, but my sister, she loved that game. And in high school, she used to invite her friends over to watch her play the final boss of Final Fantasy IX, which is a long fight. It's like an hour long. And we had a ripped or like a PlayStation that was modded. So it was kind of fucked up. So even though if we had the real disc in there, you kind of had to hold it in a certain way. Otherwise, the disc would just like reset. And that's happened multiple times. Like you're in the middle of a fight and boom, it's gone. Anyways, she invited multiple people one-on-one. It's always been a one-on-one experience. So this is like Spencer comes over one night, Josh comes over one night, et cetera, et cetera. And she would sit them down and be like, I love this game. Watch this. And they're watching the Final Fantasy IX fight. And it's so bizarre because nobody knows what's going on.
And I gotta say, very specifically for Final Fantasy IX, the last boss fight has nothing to do with the rest of the game.
I know.
Is immediately devoid of like any connection to the plot. So you are watching through layers.
You're watching through layers. You don't know what's happening, but it's for the final cutscene because YouTube didn't exist then. So you're like, okay, these two are in love, I guess. And that's what you wanted to show. So I thought that was really hilarious. I promise I won't let you guys do that. I mean, I think it's a really good power move, but I won't do that to you guys. Let's get into the meat of this episode here, going into the ground rules of what we're going to be discussing today. I think as long as it's from a Final Fantasy I mean, there's a lot of Final Fantasy things out there, like the movies, games, etc., etc. I think we're mostly talking about the games, although I would also include things that come from the games that turn into movies. You know what I mean? For example, Final Fantasy VII had a movie. I would probably lump that in there too, because that music is in line with the game. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if that will come up, but
to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other ground rules do you guys want to discuss? It could be like, also, it doesn't have to be the mainline Final Fantasy games, although I think a lot of our nominations today will be. It could technically be like Tactics or Crystal Chronicles. Final Fantasy has been along for a really long time, everyone. So yeah.
I played it pretty safe and just picked from the mainline games. And if they're like, I always pick the original version of the song because a lot of them have, there's the remastered version or there's like a more orchestrated version of it. But I always went with the original song from the main line, just Final Fantasy 1 through 15 or whatever they're at now.
Yeah, 15 and coming 16. Josh, any ground rules?
Yeah, makes sense. I would say generally, as long as it says Final Fantasy in the title, like not so in my head, like not including like spiritual Final Fantasy titles like Tactics Ogre or something, which I think is like, that's kind of like Final Fantasy, but not really. So that's where I'm at.
If you can argue Final Fantasy Tactics Ogre or whatever you just said.
Tactics Ogre is different from Final Fantasy Tactics.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, but they're like, they're kind of close. Kingdom Hearts also kind of like.
Okay, yeah, Kingdom Hearts does not count.
No. Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts does not count. Mariel, any ground rules you want to throw in there for today?
I mean, you already pooped on one of my curveballs I was going to throw in there. So wait, that being said, I want to clarify this with what you said, Spencer. Does this mean only like hardcore soundtrack, original?
I wasn't saying it as a rule, just I played it very safe and just,
okay.
Yeah, because I didn't know what the range was. And
well, I would say
I'm just
like,
asking for a friend.
Yeah. Well, I would say to that point, Mariel, like as long as it's made by the Final Fantasy composers, for example, and it's not like a YouTuber who remixed it into, because there's some of that out there, a YouTuber who remixed the main theme into like an electronic song or they did something to it to make it sound different than what it actually is. I think because there's been a lot of remasters of songs like you mentioned, but a lot of those remasters have been done by the actual like studios, right? Yeah. I would include those ones if you wanted to, but not like a random like, you know, YouTuber who did something to it.
Okay.
Cool. Nice.
I agree with all these ground rules, so
Amazing.
I'm ready.
I love it. And like, I'm really fresh on this because I just played the Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm Final Bar line on the Nintendo Switch, which is an incredible rhythm game. What a year for rhythm games, by the way. And that game on the Switch has like basically every Final Fantasy song imaginable, plus all of the Square Enix stuff. Like it has like Chrono Trigger on it and shit like that, which is weird.
That's a lot.
I know, it's bonkers. It's really cool. Yeah, and I also want to give a shout out before we start. And Spencer, maybe you'll talk about this more. Is the the main composer of Final Fantasy is Nobuo Uematsu. I think it is. Yeah. And I just think that person's career spanning across decades of Final Fantasy games. We're talking about like, for people who don't know Final Fantasy music, some people listen to these episodes just wanting to hear the music and not knowing what the property is all about. Final Fantasy, they have like a general like through line, I guess, in a way, like where it has a similar vibe to it, but each game is completely different with completely new characters and lots of new tones and stuff like that. So to have a composer who's just like, I'm going to make most of the soundtrack for all these games and creating new sounds for every game to make it sound distinct is an incredibly impressive feat, I think. Yeah. But we'll talk a little bit about that later. Let's get right into the episode. So just like every episode of Ranked, we're going to go around 3 times, nominating 3 nominations each, making a master list of 12 and whittling that down to a top 5 Final Fantasy songs list. And my first song, so my strategy was I haven't played all the Final Fantasy games, everyone. So as much of a fan as I am, for those of you who are like, well, what about Final Fantasy 1 and 2 and 4? I really only started getting into it at like 6. Okay, so anything before that, I'm sorry. I just don't know. And like the MMO version, I played the first bit of it, but that MMO is so fucking long now. So like I'm not also in the age where I can just dedicate thousands of hours to an MMO. So I'm going to miss a bunch of stuff. That said, I know what's good, near and dear to my heart, and I'm going to play a song from my favorite Final Fantasy game.
Oh, yeah.
This is Final Fantasy VI Terra's theme, who's the main protagonist of the game. And there are layers to this song, let me tell you. I'll let it play a little bit. Ooh. We'll talk a little bit over this because I don't want to get hit by some sort of Final Fantasy studio telling me to take this down because I'm going to be playing a lot of these songs, more than 30 seconds. So, does anyone have an attachment to this song or know this song?
Immediately, absolutely. Just, this is the song that plays right at the opening of Final Fantasy VI.
Almost the opening. Like, not the intro card opening, but like at the opening. Like
the snowfields and you, sort of...
yes, when you get introduced to the character and you're like, what is this game? And they set up like this mystique. You kind of hear it in this, like, the sound, right? There's a little bit of a driving force in the background, and there's some mystery, a little bit of pathos, but then you hear this stuff happening. And you get that chill in your freaking heart, and it's so beautiful. I want to cry.
The first part really made me think of Kill Bill.
Oh.
It had the combination of the Western sort of vibe to it, but with the flute has the sort of like Asian influence, like kind of reminded me of that sort of like lone hero on the...
Oh, yes, that's right, yes. Yeah. And that would be true to the main character in Final Fantasy VI, because she very much is alone for a lot of the game. Like, she feels alone. She has that like inner turmoil. She doesn't know who she is.
The trope.
Yes, exactly. Oh yeah, she has like amnesia and everything like that. Yeah. That is Terra's theme from Final Fantasy VI. Mariel, do you have any attachment to this theme at all, or what do you think?
I loved the flute. Like, that's when I totally got into it. But other than that, I'm sorry, I don't know if I'll vote for it.
Okay.
Showing your cards early.
This is really harsh off the top. Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
No, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard a single terrible Final Fantasy song. And it's just, again, I haven't played it, so I don't have an attachment to it.
But you know what? Neither has Spencer, and you don't have to judge it on if you played it or not. But we're going to go right into what Spencer... Well, yeah, you can rip into this later, Mariel. And I won't let you because I love that song. But Spencer, how about you give me your first song here?
All right. I know Mariel won't rip into mine. She might be mad because I'm stealing one of hers as my guess on this one. Now, I know I said... One of my strengths here is that I don't have any attachment to these songs, but this is what I have a huge attachment to. And as soon as I hadn't heard it in years, as soon as I revisited it,
oh my god,
just chills. Like,
yeah, this is a no-brainer.
Liberty Fatality.
Oh my gosh,
from the intro Final Fantasy VIII. Just
yeah, there's so much happening with this song.
Oh, it goes so many places. I was obsessed with this intro sequence. I remember me and my friend just like would watch it over and over again. And I even like filmed the TV screen with my parents' camcorder because I was renting the game. So I wanted to preserve it, and I didn't know how to else to record it back then.
Oh my god.
That song, opening is it's
I'm
teen
gonna cry.
angst. Sure.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I'll be here. Why?
Oh yeah, I love how I'll be here waiting for you, and waiting is in quotation marks.
Yeah,
my
there's
heart.
Lots of dramatic shots in this one for sure.
And the best. Sorry.
The feather becomes the sword.
Yeah.
You have to play the whole thing.
Oh, I'm not going to.
It gets better and better.
We'll play a bit more of it later for sure, like as in the second half. But let's enjoy it a little bit more for sure.
Some Danny Elfman vibes here.
Oh, that's true. It has a little bit of that. It's very intense.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of a deep dive on this song today and was just learning how hard this song would be to play live in an orchestra, and yet they just fucking kill it.
Yeah.
Banger.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna take that away for now, and we'll come back to it. I'm quite sure later. Josh, you're not a Final Fantasy VIII weeb. So as someone who's a little bit more passive, what do you think about that?
Final Fantasy VIII is not on my. I've played it all the way through.
Ooh.
It's not on my like. It's not. I would say it's my top. But I did. My strategy for this episode was to go like, oh, if I had to include like a battle song, what would I pick as the best?
Mm-hmm.
This one definitely, hands down, would be my best like Latin choir song.
Yeah.
Oh, in the Latin choir category, yeah.
Over like One Winged Angel. Yeah, One Winged Angel. Tough competition.
Whoa. Someone could say it. Someone could say
Somebody
it.
could.
Maybe,
Somebody could.
Maybe.
I would pick this every time. But I really do think like that opening is teen angst in a bottle. It's just like, it's like, what do we do? There's words flying across. There's feathers. There's symbolism. It's
Yes, totally. There's
Great song.
sword fighting that's happening on the screen. There's a lot.
Sexy.
Very sexy.
It's a scar.
Okay.
Scar that's made.
Yeah. Mariel, what do you have as your first nomination? You want to put in the chat there?
Oh, yeah. I would love to. Of course, Spencer, that was my number one. So I got to pivot.
Yeah.
I'm going to pivot, and this equally beautiful.
Oh.
There it is.
This is not Final Fantasy
Where is this
VIII.
Up. This is my curveball. It's from Final Fantasy 14. And they did a little like mashup. So one of the raids uses this song, and it's I don't know, Nier Automata.
Automata,
I've never
that's
played
what it is.
Yeah. Okay. And in that game, it's like the ending, and it's beautiful. But they play this in a raid in Final Fantasy 14, and it has been not remastered, but it's been changed. And just playing this raid with this music, like, and all the different people playing with you, and just, it's chaos, but beautiful chaos.
Yeah, I'm
And
watching the video right now, which looks very MMO-ish, which is like epic music and just so much
Flashes
happening
of
on
light.
screen. I have no
Oh,
idea
yeah.
what's happening.
Oh yeah, this has a special place. I haven't yet progressed to that point, and as you said, like the first part of Final Fantasy 14 is very long, and you know you really need the patience. But when it gets to the these
second
parts,
part?
these,
Yeah.
quote expansions, it just blows your world. You've got the weight of the world. You know, you feel it.
Oh,
it's there.
very good. Yeah, for Final Fantasy
Chills.
14, I played, because I heard it has the best storytelling in all the Final Fantasy games, which I think is bananas to think about. And they said, as long as you get past the first original game and go into the expansions, you're good to go. So I trudged through all of the first original, like 30, 40 hours of the game. And it was kind of like, it was a big whatever kind of thing. And I was finally at the good part, but I was like, I'm a little burnt out on this. I'm going to come back to it.
yeah.
And I never did. So I just wasted 40 hours of my life.
Oh, it gets better. Then there are
heard, yeah.
dragons and, you know, all that stuff. And I know. And then you travel to what is in their version, like Japan, Imperial Japan. It's, incredible storytelling. Highly recommend, because I have the time.
Yeah, no worries.
Because I have 40
respect
hours
that.
to spare.
I respect that. What I liked about this song here, "Weight of the World," is that it includes the kind of the dun 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 dun, like the main Final Fantasy like piano piece, and they incorporate it in this much more bombastic kind of final. It seems like this is the final boss of something. Maybe, I don't know. I think that's a really cool inclusion to the song for sure. Yeah.
Curveball.
Yeah.
What makes it a curveball?
It's originally from Nier Automata, which is another Square Enix game.
Gotcha.
And they do a lot of mashups, like Easter eggy things in Final Fantasy 14. Like for a while, there was a limited edition, like Squall outfit or Cloud outfit. And I don't particularly know what part this is in the storyline, but I just I didn't even play it that part yet.
Did they
and
put
it just
characters
moved
from Nier Automata in there, or just the music?
That's a good point. I don't think
Okay.
they put characters. And correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I haven't been to that part or reached that part because it's a ways away. So, but again, like even so, it moved me. It moved my soul.
Oh, right away when it came in, those like male choir vocals, I was like, oh, I was like gripped right away. I'm going back to that one. That one was really cool.
Yeah, and this seems like it's not just taking the song from Nier Automata. It's kind of like borrowing some melody stuff and then injecting Final Fantasy blood into it, making it a new thing. So yeah, it's a curveball, but it's not disqualified because it's from like a different game, right?
Disqualified?
Don't.
Get off. It was right there.
Get off your cloud, Spencer. Okay, fuck. Josh, what do you have as your first nomination?
So my first nomination, I'm going to put it in the chat here, is from Final Fantasy IX, which is, I think, has consistently been number one Final Fantasy for me. And it's my favorite song from the track. This one's called Roses of May.
Oh. I love this
play
game.
for a little bit. Oh, me too. And I'll start to like maybe tell a bit of a backstory, I think, behind it as it sort of picks up. So one of the key characters of this game is somebody named Beatrix. And she is, I think, the commander of the Queen's Guard or something, who is, in a nutshell, like a war criminal. But there's this part of the game where she sort of trudges through the ruins of her own city as she fights through monsters that sort of the Queen's actions have caused to like come to the city and all that. And she takes them down single-handedly. She's a boss earlier in the game. She like kind of wrecks them. But there's a lot of like conflict in her as she goes, oh, maybe the person I serve is not great. And I think this is consistently the number one song I come back to when I think of Final Fantasy IX.
Ooh, I love this. Freaking, you know, it's funny. You nominating this makes me not nominate something else, which is, yeah. I want to have a little variety in there before we like battle it out. I think this is a really good pick.
Yeah, one of the signatures of great Final Fantasy music is these really sophisticated melodies that wind through unexpected chord changes like this and really make you feel complex emotions because it's taking that those little dips there, it like add the uncertainty to the emotion and like it's really beautiful. Yeah, that's a great pick.
It's great.
I haven't heard that one.
Okay, we're going to round two, everyone. Round two of the nominations. Yeah, this is really tough. So I don't know if this will come up in round three or not, but my strategy for this episode was that, I basically went through all the Final Fantasy games that I know and picked my favorite songs from each Final Fantasy game, just like grab 3 to 4 songs per each one, just in case you guys stole some. And then kind of go from there. And then I was going to just nominate one song from each Final Fantasy game and try to have a little bit of variety in there too. And then like the idea was like, well, do I want a battle song in there? Because like Final Fantasy battle music could be its own category. Like it could just really just be like, because there's always the battle theme. There's like the battle theme plus almost where it's like the sub boss kind of fight. And then there's like the boss fight. So like I would say like every Final Fantasy game has at least 3 to 4 battle songs. So I'm going to avoid the battle songs for now because you inspired me to go in a little bit of a different direction, Josh. I'm going to go for Final Fantasy VII as my next pick. And that game has just a bonkers soundtrack. I mean, it's one of the most popular games of all time, but I think one of the reasons why it still stands this test of time, putting Final Fantasy VII Remake to the side for a second, is because the music is so strong in this. And my pick, I'm pivoting from my original pick here. I'm going to pick this one here. It's a more unique choice. Yes, we got some head nods. This is Cosmo Canyon. Oh, baby. Give it some time. Yeah, this. What would you call it? A city, a town, a canyon?
Yeah.
It's such a unique part of the game. When you go to like Red 13, he's like a wolf, and his like master, I guess. I can't. It's been a long time. The guy who's like bald and stuff like that and floats in the sky and like shows you the planets. There's a certain mood to this that really invokes like I don't know, mystery a bit.
For sure.
Yeah. Josh, you
feel
gonna
like-
say something?
Yeah. I
Oh, wait,
feel like
get to it. Hang on. Let's just get to this little
sure.
stinger
Yeah,
part at the end
yeah.
that just caps it all off. All right. That's Cosmo Canyon from Final Fantasy VII. Thoughts?
Oh man, I think it really is a testament to the range of the variety that they bring of sound that they bring into the soundtracks. It's like, they have the good classic piano songs almost in every game, and then they have the love themes, and then they come out with this like banger percussion song that just like really gets to you. And I love that about Final Fantasy music. So yeah, this one is definitely a good one, a banger.
Yeah, the percussion is a good call. For me, it invokes like a little bit more of like an old, I don't know how to say this, like an old world vibe. Like in Final Fantasy VII, you get a lot of like futuristic shit that's happening in it. But in Cosmo Canyon, it's kind of like isolated or away from the rest of the world. So it kind of invokes this like we still have this bubble, this space. It's more tribe-like. That's in this special, I don't know, the special town, the special canyon. And I think that's, it just through music alone, it really invokes that. Josh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just want to add, I think Red 13, one of my favorite characters from FF7. And I think very specifically, FF7 has this big environmental message. And Red 13 comes from this tribe of, I think, what are essentially like land protectors. And so I like that a lot of that sort of feeling, I think, shines through in this piece, and that it feels homey and kind of like warm compared to the rest of the soundtrack of FF7, which is often like cyberpunk, futuristic, like lots of techno stuff. So yeah.
Spencer.
One thing I love about the older soundtracks is the limitations and what they're able to do in spite of them. And that is such a sweet spot for me. Like I love the Nintendo 64 sound chip where it's like a little bit more expansive than Super Nintendo. And so similarly with PlayStation, you get these like very unique sounds, and they're really able to create such like paint on such a broad canvas with those sounds. It's really impressive. And like you really feel the expansiveness of the environment through the music. And one thing I'm picking up on too, just with like hearing all these songs back to back, is how well all these songs like tell a story, and that's like so important to the game, which is like the story is the heart of it, right? So it's not necessarily these energetic songs that play and repeat. It's more they lead you through different sections and stuff, and tell a larger narrative with them, and that's this one definitely does that.
Yeah, there's a lot of unique emotions that happen per Final Fantasy song, and like this one tells a story of a specific Red 13. He's like on paper as a goofy character. He's a talking wolf with a tattoo that says 13 on it, but he is such a like. There's a lot of shit going on with that character I won't get into this. There's a lot of stuff happening. So yeah, to have this music be the undertone of that is like, okay, it recontextualizes that like, okay, yeah, he's a talking wolf, but there's just so much more going on here. Spencer, what do you got? Second nomination.
I'm going to stay on the same page, and another one from Final Fantasy VII. Once again, I think the limitations of the sound chip here really add to a sort of sweetness and melancholy to this song. This is Tifa's theme.
Oh, here we go.
And we'll just let this play because it's around 40 seconds in that there's this melody that I find just so it's like such a specific but enigmatic sort of feeling that it plays to. But once again with the storytelling, it builds into it, sets the stage for it here at the start.
Oh, Tifa.
And that sort of like xylophone sound in the background, very much like Dire Docks, Mario 64
yeah. there's a ton of good theme songs in Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, yeah.
They all have a good...
This melody.
Oh, so beautiful.
So sweet, so earnest.
It's...
Yeah, love it.
And this goes back to you saying like, yeah, each song kind of tells a story, especially these main theme songs that have to do with like a character's theme song. Like this one invokes for me, although I played the game, so I kind of like, you know, projecting what's happening in the game to this. But to me, like if I close my eyes, it's like, this reminds me of like small town girl, kind of like homey, and how like it's safe. We're safe in this, like, if we keep to this pocket of the world, then we can be away from all the like actual troubles of the world because we have this home. It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's these always with there's these chord changes that always hint towards, but it's not like it establishes an emotion, but then like complexifies it with like almost like a question, like a chord progression you weren't quite expecting to let you know like there's more to the story. It keeps leading you through the rest of it.
Yeah. That's good shit. Tifa's theme. Yes, this was on my list too. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Mariel, Josh, how do we feel about Tifa? Are we team Tifa or are we team Aerith? What do we got?
Man, Tifa.
Wow.
Tifa, for sure. I love Aerith, but she dies. And also...
Okay, all right. Spoilers.
Wow, okay.
Listen, it's an
don't hold that
old
against
game.
her.
If you haven't played by now, it's not my fault. But I
This
think
game is 25 years old and it's too soon.
more earnestly, I think one of my consistent favorite things about Tifa is that Tifa is an absolute badass. She's the only one in the party that's like, I'm gonna fight all these monsters. You need guns and swords. I'm gonna use my bare fists. But I think at her core, she is warm and kind, and she fights because she has to, but not because she wants to. And I think having this sort of like really warm, homey, like small town vibe be her main theme, I think is a really like great emotional stroke of genius, just in terms of juxtaposing the theme against what she actually does in the game and what she does for the party.
I'll piggyback off of that. I guess you guys hit it right on the nail with me because I closed my eyes and really felt it. And it could very easily be the background music to like some village that just warms your heart, you know, like that home feeling. And I love that about, I guess, Tifa and the sentimentality towards her. I don't like how, and I hope I'm allowed to say this, I don't like how over sexualized she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
That's fair.
For a moment I was team Aerith, and then I was like, she's too vanilla. And then Tifa, I love a strong woman. Like I love badass girls. And yeah, Tifa, this song is very much like a juxtaposition of her character. And I love that. It is storytelling and characterizing in music. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And also like, I remember when the new Final Fantasy VII remake game came out and they showed a picture of Tifa and like all of the worst people on the internet came out and were like, where are Tifa's boobs? What happened to our Tifa's boobs?
Tifa.
And like in Final Fantasy VII, the original one was PS1. So like her boobs were like blocks. They were polygons. So when they translated it to like the 3D, like beautiful Tifa that like we kind of see right now, I mean, like, let's be real here. Her boobs are just ginormous. Still, they still are, but you got the internet people out there who are like, what happened to our Tifa? But then you like, if you play the new game, she is just as much of a badass as she ever has. That's the thing about Tifa is like, yeah, she has giant breasts, but she's not, that's not what defines her as a character to me. Like she is very much a fighter. She loves to fight for what's right. She loves to fight for the underdog, and she has a crush on Cloud because, you know, who doesn't?
Who wouldn't?
Who doesn't?
Yeah. Right, Josh?
Yeah.
Hey, listen. You get me a brooding. Actually,
Angsty.
they don't even. Yeah, angsty. They don't even need to be attractive. They just need to be like brooding.
Yeah, brooding.
That's it. That's all I need.
And
Just
again,
brooding.
Josh, you'll fix them, you know? Josh,
That's
you're
what I
gonna
really want.
Nurture.
I
and another character with amnesia. So
If I try hard enough, Claude will remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mariel, what do you have as your second nomination?
Okay, I'll be real, and I'm just going to throw this out verbally as one of the honorable mentions because ground rules are specifically no Final Fantasy spirit, the spirit within. I think
It's just
the
a
Lara
movie.
Fabian. Oh yeah, I was like the Lara Fabian song at the
We could
end.
play it. We could play it on the honorable mentions side of things. But yes,
Exactly. Yeah. It's very different from the peace and the calm that we just listened to. Sorry, this is Final Fantasy VIII fave.
Whoa. More sinister.
This is as I mentioned earlier, it has a special place in my heart because the amount of times I played the final boss battle. So this is the castle, and this is where you reach the end of the story and you fight the many different stages or forms of Ultimatia. And the moment you get into the castle, this plays. And that opening is so beautiful. Then it becomes super scary and shit's going down kind of thing. Whew, chills.
Oh, yeah, I like it. Yeah. Woo. Josh, Final Fantasy VIII, Castle.
Oh yeah. Just love that there is sort of this deific kind of feel to it because Ultimatia is like a time traveling witch, and I think this buildup of dread in this piece is just dread and also reverence for this kind of character that you have been building towards fighting forever. All great. Love it.
It gives me it's been a very long time since I played Final Fantasy VIII, so I don't remember the fine details anymore. So I'm actually kind of listening to it almost as the first time again, and it reminds me of Castlevania vibes. I mean, it is called The Castle, but it gives me Castlevania vibes. What about you, Spencer? First time listening to it, I assume.
Yeah, I never got that far in the game. Fortunately, I had to return it to Blockbuster for. So
Rest in peace.
My punishment was never hearing that really cool organ solo at the start that leads into. Yeah, that's really cool. I love it. It's got that. I mean, it is iconically dark castle with a super powerful witch inside of it. It evokes that perfectly. So
yeah,
before you even said that, that's what I was picking up on. So
awesome.
Yeah,
Josh,
well done.
What do you got?
We've been talking a lot about the breadth of Final Fantasy and sort of the range, and I think this one is one that exemplifies it very well. I will preface this by saying this is a song that makes my very queer heart very happy. So
okay,
here we go. It's from Final Fantasy X-2.
10-2.
Yes.
Okay.
10-2.
Oh my god.
10-2.
All right, what is it? Let's see. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. That's
What?
Yeah. This is the intro theme song, right?
10-2 starts
Music in Final Fantasy.
with a pop solo.
Okay.
Oh, Spencer, Final Fantasy X-2 is really ridiculous.
Sing it,
My
Yuna.
gosh. Every time. I just got
You should
into the chorus.
cosplay.
I'm going to. I think I'm going to.
Specifically this.
Of who?
This dress
Of
spirit.
who?
Here comes the chorus. Oh boy.
This is the first song we've had that has lyrics in it.
Yeah. English lyrics that we
English
can
lyrics.
Yeah, pick up on.
I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of Final Fantasy songs, especially the early. Well,
Oh yeah, no, they did have. Yeah.
6 had one, 8 had one, 9 has one, and 10 has one.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
And so does 10-2. 10-2
Yeah,
has two of
10-2
them.
has- yeah.
So we're clear.
Yeah.
Key change. But
Yeah.
I just love the song 100%. I feel like it is such a sort of turn away from sort of the solemnity of Final Fantasy X. That I'm just like, every time I see the opening, I'm just like, this makes me happy.
Yeah. Well, it was such a big departure from like Final Fantasy X even, right? Like at the end of 10 ends on like a very like bittersweet moment, right? And there's a lot of emotions and stuff going on. And then you open with this and you're like, what are the characters up to now? And all of a sudden they're dancing on stage like they're on a girl group band, just kind of going crazy. And then you eventually, like a lot of, Spencer, the mechanics in this game is like they do like costume changes, clothes changes, and that's what changes their class. So like they can go into a warrior class, into the singer pop star class.
Whoa.
And yeah, and they all do little different things.
I thought 10-2 was just like an expansion of 10. It's like a completely different game with
It's
pop
a
singing at the heart of
a
it.
full game. It's a full game that uses the same like graphical assets from 10, but they tell a full story. Yeah.
And it's almost like a sequel, I would say.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's literally the first Final Fantasy sequel. Yeah.
It's the only one, right? Have they made any other?
13 had 2 sequels.
Oh, okay.
Final Fantasy has a bunch of like,
Final Fantasy 11.
like-
Yeah.
so,
I love Final Fantasy X too, with all my heart. I know it wasn't as popular with like the male population, but it definitely catered to the female identifying
That's
population.
fair.
It's just
That's
magic.
fair. I hated it.
Good one, Josh. Case in point.
Yeah. I'm not because I'm a male, because
That's what they all say.
That's what they all say. You're right. I'm definitely incel energy. No, I'm just kidding. No. It was too different at the time. I wonder if I go back to it now, if I would appreciate it more. But yeah.
and I can respect it. I feel like if you're looking for more Final Fantasy X and you get Final Fantasy X-2, I can see how you would be maybe
disappointed.
Oh yeah. I was.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fine. I do like this because this is like the part of the game that I did like, which was the beginning of the game where they show you all this wacky shit and you're like, what is this game going to be? And when it starts off with this like, pop girl singing kind of montage and cinematic, I thought that was really neat. So kudos to this song, Josh. I'm giving you a thumbs up. Let's go into the final round of nominations. This is tough. It actually kind of, Spencer, you're on the episode where we nominated a few Final Fantasy. I think it was on the chill music episode, the chill video games music, right?
Yeah,
and
one of my recommendations was Final Fantasy VII.
And one of my recommendations was from a Final Fantasy song as well. Actually, I think it was on a different video game theme songs episode, but I'm trying not to repeat some of these like things that we've said in the past because, we've already said those songs. They already got their due. So in a way, I kind of want to make way for others. Like for me, the Final Fantasy main theme is one of my favorite main theme songs. I think there's so much going into it, and the fact that they play some sort of version of it through all the Final Fantasies, kind of like how Legend of Zelda does the same thing, makes my heart swell. Like it's just like, oh, it's so cool that this theme just is so everlasting no matter what universe or what world we're in. But anyways, my nomination isn't that. I'm kind of stalling because I don't know where to go. But I think I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do a Final Fantasy X song, not 10-2, I'm sorry. And this is surprising to me because I thought I would throw in a battle theme song, but maybe I'll just save it for my honorable mentions. But I'm feeling this now after hearing 10-2. So here's my nomination. It's a classic.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Which version though?
I just pulled the regular version because it's the easiest one to like
identify.
It's the version, in a way.
Version.
This is To Xanarkand from Final Fantasy X. It's honestly one of my favorite Final Fantasy songs ever. It's so beautiful.
This is my story.
Yeah. Oh man. Again,
so
like tears, there's a story being told here.
Yeah. I just love that you never know where the chord progressions are going, but they always lead to like beautiful places.
Little bit of hope, lots of pathos. but lots of angst, teen angst, if you will. Not exactly. I'm not sure how much Titus is.
I feel like they're like early 20s.
He's the opposite. Yeah. He's too jolly for his own good.
Yeah, he's a bit of a wiener. He's actually kind of a wiener at the beginning of the game. I hate it. But this,
can't forget that.
Right, he teaches her how to laugh.
Yeah, oh yes.
I do know that.
yeah.
And how to whistle.
Yeah, that's
Good
to
one.
Xanarkand. I think it's, for me anyways, it's one of the best just piano arrangements for Final Fantasy. I mean, that's definitely arguable, but I really, really like this song. Mariel, Final Fantasy X, you enjoy to Xanarkand?
Oh, loved it. And I think it was the first Final Fantasy I played through without having to like sneak into my brother's save file. Like I played it through, it was all me. And no, that song, I tried to learn how to play it on the piano. That's how much it like changed my life. But like I would love to add the Distant Worlds, the concert version is another like beautiful orchestration of it. So definitely I approve.
Nice.
It's good.
It is good shit. Josh, you obviously like it. Spencer, you like it.
Yeah, that was strong.
That's good stuff. So why don't we move on to Spencer's final nomination?
Okay, I had a lot to choose from. I'm going to go with this one just because I'm surprised it hasn't been brought up yet. It's probably the first thing my mind conjures when I think of Final Fantasy music.
Is this one here? Okay,
Yeah.
here we go.
Also from Final Fantasy VII.
Yes. Okay,
Oh,
sure. Yeah, of course.
Classic. That's a
So
classic.
Very
probably these are because it's in Smash Brothers, so it's probably the Final Fantasy music I've heard the most. But yeah, for those who fight.
Like I said, Spencer, Final Fantasy battle music could have been its own thing.
Yeah, totally.
Shout out to the
So good.
Final Fantasy VII remake version of this, which is even more bonkers.
Yeah.
I would argue the movie version to the first movie where it's all piano. Oh, it's mind blowing.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
It's mind blowing. Oh, it was on my roster, but
I want to get to the fun part of the song.
Yeah.
This is coming up. This is what gives me chills. Oh! I just want to fight someone.
Preferably a giant dragon.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Final Fantasy 7. That's the main battle theme called "Those Who Fight." Josh, who would you fight to that song?
Who would I fight to that song?
Yeah. Who are you fighting? Real or fictional? It doesn't matter.
Oh, real or fictional? Okay. Amazing. Okay. Definitely the last person to break my heart.
Oh my god.
Deserves it.
Take him down.
Yeah.
give me their name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's Schmason. My favorite part of the song, absolutely every time, 100%. Not surprisingly, not the part you mentioned, but it's the. I think it's like the kind of like the pipes in the background going like,
Dude.
Yeah.
I just noticed that for the first time listening to this song for this episode. I was like, that clanging, that metal clanging in the background, it's so good. Yeah.
Super
my favorite
cool.
part every time.
In Final Fantasy VII Remake, they have a lot of restraint before playing the song. Because this song, when you go into a regular battle in the original Final Fantasy VII, always plays. Right away, you get into a random battle encounter, you hear this song a zillion times. So when you start playing the new Final Fantasy VII Remake, you're like, where the fuck is this song? You played full chapter, you don't hear it. And then you start hearing little snippets of it, but not the full thing. And then the first time it actually comes out in full is when I started sobbing, because I'm just like, that's my song, baby. That's my boy. He's all grown up. Yeah, I love it. Mariel, how about you give me your final nomination?
And for the record, I think it's worth playing at some point. The Advent Children version, I think it takes it up a notch. It's like makes me want to throw up because it gives me anxiety.
We'll like every video game theme music episode or theme song or songs episode, we'll make a playlist on YouTube. I'll stitch it together and I'll post it on the Podcavern website at www.podcavern.com. You'll see it there. Mariel, your final nomination.
Okay. I do too need to preface this. So my first portion of it, it's actually a separate song. My actual nomination is the second song. And I'll talk about a little more why I chose this after you hear it. But okay, so this is, you can play like 10 seconds of this one, and then I'll give you the second one, which is
The real one? Is the second one the real one, but this one like helps preface this one?
yes.
Okay.
Tells the story.
Yes, I see. I recognize this song. Tell me when to stop it, though.
Oh, you can stop it. That
Stop
was,
it now? You just wanted a little... Oh, but it gets so good. Okay. All right.
so good.
Yeah. That's from Final Fantasy 14. That's the Ulda.
Yeah.
It's one of the main like hub towns in the world.
Oh yeah, it's the role-playing center of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Okay, so the second song is actually my nomination, and it's beautiful. That sounds like...
I see now. I see what you're going for. So, same hub world, different time of day.
But at night, oh yeah.
So great. I do want to say I have also tried to play FF14, and this is my
The one.
hometown.
It's the one.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Mine's the foresty place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. We got a lot of good piano in our mix today. I have to just knock this song a little bit, but less knocking the song, more the YouTube link, because I can't take this song seriously. There's just like a guy who's walking naked with their avatar.
Only one I could
It
find.
kind of ruins the mystique of it all, I think.
Just close your eyes.
Walking through the entire city, which is massive, in his underwear with a giant friggin' axe or whatever. So
It gets wild in Final Fantasy 14. People walk around naked.
oh yeah, I mean that's in any MMO. The first thing you do is, what do I look naked?
Oh yeah, you got like a little bandeau. That's it. That's all that covers you. But no, this. So I remember the first time I actually really listened to, because you're playing the game. You know, music is definitely a great addition to the experience. But I remember hearing this at first, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's the daytime song, but they made it like a lullaby because Sultana is dreaming. I mean, even the title, like, I don't want to in case you guys have the extra 60 hours to bust through that game.
That's
but
generous.
I know some of you have lives. I don't. But no, I literally like gasped and I shook my husband. I was like, do you hear it? Do you hear what they did? And I thought that was brilliant. And I love that Final Fantasy plays with their songs a little bit like this. Again, it's part of the whole telling of the story. And while there is no direct story, I love that they did this like daytime version and nighttime version. And the nighttime, literally, I sleep to that song because it's so soothing.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Picking up on those subtle musical connections is like one of the most satisfying experiences for your brain when you're like, well, it's the same song, but they just
I recognize
piano.
that. Yeah. I love it. Josh, you have to give us the final nomination here. You're the anchor, remember? You're the guy, so make it
I'm
count.
here. I'm doing it every time.
Bring us home.
Every time.
So again, a little bit of prefacing. I have a very long list of nominations, and I have sort of a section of the nominations that's like no-brainers. If people are bringing this up, I'm going to bring it up 100%. And this is on the no-brainer list because nobody's brought it up yet. This is from Final Fantasy 6 as well.
Let's go, baby. What is it? I'm so stoked.
This one is called, I think, I'm going to...
Yes. Yeah.
This is the orchestrated version. But Nobuo Uematsu created a little operetta for an entire section, for just a section of the game. And this is like the full version of it. It sounds just beautiful, sort of like tuned down to the tiny little chip. Very long song.
Great sequence though.
Oh, yeah. And just to add some, I think flavor to this. One of your characters looks exactly like the opera singer who's supposed to be in this play, but that singer is sick, so she takes her place. That's the plot of this part.
Does this version go through like the entire opera part of it, or?
It does.
It
so
does.
There's like the vocals and everything. So I think we'll actually hit some of the vocals soon, and we could probably like.
Well, we'll skip ahead for the second half.
Yeah.
Man, this part of the game is bananas.
It's bananas.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And I will say you can skip to like maybe like 2:13 for like the main part.
Okay, I'm just gonna get to this part here because she's singing. Two. What you said? Two. Oh, I see it.
2:13.
I see it. This is what I thought you were gonna.
Yeah.
This is when one of the main characters comes out and starts singing her bit, which is very beautiful.
My beloved, shall we still be made to
Yeah.
What's crazy is the minigame for this part is you have to pick the correct lyrics.
What? Really?
Because you're playing the character who's like singing this, so you're like, what are the lyrics again?
Yeah, she doesn't. Yeah, exactly. You read
So
the
are
lyrics before.
Are the vocals represented by like chiptune stuff, or
Yeah. Let me
okay.
see if I can. Should we quickly pull that up?
Yeah, let's pull up.
Curious to hear what it sounds like. Yeah.
Oh, it's much funnier, I think.
I'm picturing like what do you call it? KK slider. Like
A little bit. You are not far off. You
That's
are
pretty much-
That's pretty
Oh my
much
God.
it. Yeah, Josh,
Here
if
it
you can
is.
find
Here it
that.
is.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely. Exactly the part we just listened to, I think.
Okay, here we go. KK slider, you hit the nail on the head here. Here we go. I'm just gonna skip ahead a bit to the
Like a minute. Yeah.
here. A minute? Okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
that's hauntingly beautiful.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's
Right?
it's
I can still kind of hear a voice, like
Yeah.
a human voice. They mix that so well.
well, it goes back to like what Spencer says, the limitations of the system. You can't really. But they get the.
They still get it.
Like they still get it. They still
Yeah,
get it.
this is great.
This is an SNES fucking game.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And again, at this point, it's like, my next line is,
yeah, it like pauses for a second where you have to like
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it stops and then you have to pick the right.
a little bit.
line.
Like you don't. I think you don't have a lot of time. I can't remember.
yeah,
Josh-
I think it's right.
Yeah.
I feel like you,
It's been a long time. Yeah.
and I think
And how
there's
are you
like,
supposed to know?
You read like
there's a little,
there's a little like there's like a book or something in like the backstage or some room that you kind of read the lyrics in advance, but I don't think it like explicitly tells you like you gotta memorize this. It doesn't handhold you. It just
no, it's
shows
just
it
like,
to you, and then you
is the
get into
script.
the sequence, and you're like, oh shit, I was supposed to pay attention to that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's cool. Wow, great pick, everyone. That was the. So, are we doing the meaty version of this, Josh, or the big one?
Honestly, I submitted the media version, but I think I'm gonna go true to the original. Let's stick to the
the lyrical, like the classic lyrical one.
classic. Oh no, I meant the
meaty-
SNES one.
The KK slider.
Okay, the KK slider.
The KK slider.
Remix.
Haunted Super Nintendo.
Honestly, I think that's the right call because I think it's
think so.
like,
I think
in a
so,
way
too.
it's much more impressive that we were able to
Yeah.
translate it, right?
For sure.
But that's our list of 12 Final Fantasy songs. Someone's freaking screaming at us for missing.
yeah.
Dude, we've missed so much, obviously. And like this list is completely not what I thought it would be. I thought we'd get more like fight music in here, but we only have really one, right? So lots of orchestral, lots of like piano, lots of like right off the top of the show, we were talking about how like in our emotions we were. And that's really true to this list. So I kind of love it for that. How about we take a break? And when we're back, we are going to fight the Final Fantasy boss that is the top 5 Final Fantasy songs list. We'll be back.
Hey, what's going on? We are Pull the Plug Podcast with myself, Mrs. Godzilla.
And me, Justin G.
Myself, Justin Briner.
And me, Sarah M.
Pull the Plug Podcast, it's a place where music fans, pop culture nerds, and people who love dick jokes come together each week.
A place of worship, if you will.
Check us out at ptppodcast.com for all your dick needs.
Top five.
All right, everyone. We're on our Chocobos and our... Hang on. Are they Chocobos or Chocobos?
I always said Chocobos.
I've never heard. I really want to say Chocobos forever now.
Chocobos?
Chocobos.
What do you say? Mariel, what do you have?
Definitely if you look at the Japanese version, if it's Chocobo, it would be Choco, and then you kind of like have that dash to elongate the Chocobo. So I think it's just Chocobo. Yeah. That's my 2 cents.
That is a way better explanation. I didn't even know any of that. I think when I grew up, it was like just always Chocobos. And I'm like, all right, sure. And then I've heard people say it the other way. And then I was thrown off. So
That's wrong.
that's wrong. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It's like when everyone called Titus for the longest time.
Yes.
I like Titus better. Anyway, I was trying to say we're getting off our giant chickens and we're about to rank this list. And yeah, like let's talk about our list a little bit because we have our top 12 list. When I was just telling Laura on the break here that it's a lot different than I thought it would be, because I think in one of the video games episodes, Spencer, we talked about, or Josh, I don't even know at this point, like Final Fantasy music, very popular for their like adventure-y type music, fanfare type of orchestral stuff going on right here, right? But in what we have in this list today, there's a lot of like somber moods that is like a through line in kind of our list here, and a lot of piano arrangements and a lot more like thinky type of songs. I'm not sure if that's the best way to describe it, but how would you describe it, Spencer?
Yeah, there's a lot of like reflective, I'd say, melody, like
Great word.
like intimate and like not that sort of like the score for going out into the open world and like getting into battles and whatnot. I definitely had some stuff like that on my list, but part of it is just like picking, kind of like going with the flow of the show and be like, oh, I'm gonna throw this one in there now. So just end up, maybe that's just the mood we
that's
were
maybe
all in.
I mean, like with a different list of people, a different recording time, we might have been feeling different. I could honestly swap the 3 that I put in for another 3 easily. Easily. Right? Josh, Mariel, how do you feel about our list that we have in front of us?
I'm pretty happy. I feel like, and it makes sense because I was thinking, the battle themes, the overall themes, you hear those all the time. You're meant to hear them over and over again. So I think we picked a bunch of ones that are like memorable, ones that have like emotional or musical significance to us. I would be very happy to make a top 5 playlist out of this list.
This is going to be a great top 5. Mariel, what do you think about this list so far?
I
hate it. Oh my God.
The variety, I think it speaks to how each of us, well, sorry, Spencer, maybe not you, but definitely like as we play the games, there's certain things that really stick with you and like move you. I'm being so cheesy, but I mean, this was the soundtrack of my childhood, and just the memorable moments in the game, or like the memorable villages and cities that you visit. And we've got a bit of that here. And of course, like God, I can't even put my finger on it. It's just the range again represented. We got the pop songs, we got the fight songs. So yeah, this is going to be tough.
Yeah, for sure.
12 to 5. Oh goodness. Okay.
Well, we'll make it somehow. But yeah, it is really a testament to how phenomenal this series has endured all these freaking years. Actually, I don't actually know how old it really is. Someone can Google that for me, how old Final Fantasy is, but it's been around for a really long time, and it's crazy that it's still
80s.
at the top of its game, right? So 80s?
Yeah, late 80s,
sure.
I think was the first one,
God damn it. Wow. Anyways, I agree with you, Mario. Like, this series is near and dear to my heart, as like the first JRPG I really like started playing, and I've never really stopped since. Like anytime a Final Fantasy game comes out, I at least have my eye on it. I didn't play all of them, but I have my eye on it, being like, is this the next one I jump into? But how about I'll read the list of what we have, our top 12, and then we'll narrow it down from there. So we have from Final Fantasy VI, Terra's theme. From Final Fantasy VIII, I can't say this one. Liberi Fatali? Oh, Chocobo. Final Fantasy XIV. The copied... Wait, hang on. It's The Weight of the World. Reading the YouTube title of it. Final Fantasy IX, Roses of May, right? Roses of May. Final Fantasy VII, Cosmo Canyon. Final Fantasy VII again, Tifa's theme. Final Fantasy VIII, The Castle. Final Fantasy X-2, Real Emotion. Final Fantasy
Don't
X.
laugh.
I laugh because it's fun.
It's fun, yeah.
And it's wildly different than anything that comes before or after that. So Final Fantasy X to Xanarkand, to Final Fantasy VII, Battle Music. Final Fantasy XIV, it's the Ulda Nighttime theme. Sultana Dreaming. And Final Fantasy VI is the opera Maria and Draco.
That's what I call it.
Yeah.
The opera. Yeah.
I'm having a hard time because now that I can't say Chocobo anymore. I don't even. I'm like, am I saying words right anymore? We're gonna go with Mariah and Draco. Yes, Spencer, you're gonna go first. You're gonna star a nomination that isn't one of your own.
Okay, I'm gonna star The Castle.
Wow. Okay.
Final Fantasy VIII. I really enjoyed that one. The twist to sinister really
got you there.
Yeah.
We're going to go, Mariel, star a nomination that isn't one of your own.
I really like Cosmo Canyon. I'm going to say it. It was a good one.
Cosmo Canyon star. Josh, star one that isn't one of your own.
Yeah. Gonna be honest, I feel like I was extremely surprised by The Weight of the World, Copied Factory, the Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm going to star that one.
I'm going to star the Final Fantasy VII battle song because I think that... We can have a conversation. I think that one and the Copied Factory one might actually go head to head because they're the battle-iest ones, but I want to have battle representation on this list. Okay, so I'm going to go around one more time and I'll just actually, instead of going around, I'll just open it up to the floor here. If you feel as though there is something on this list, including one of your own, that you think this will make the top 5, then we'll star it. And if there's one that you're like, I don't remember what that sounds like, just tell me and we'll play like a little snippet of it.
I feel like this list has to have the opera in it. Yeah, I'm like, it's not me. It's everybody who's ever played Final Fantasy VI. I just want to put that out there.
Okay. That one's starred.
Yeah,
Spencer, Mariel, anything that you feel as though has to make this list?
Liberi Fatali needs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that one's very unique and For me, there's all these songs are really good. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. I love them all. I would say like out of my own picks, I love Xanarkand a lot. I feel as though that has a lot of weight to it.
Can I hear that one again?
Yes, you may. As soon as I find the tab for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I'll just play another like 15 seconds of it so we get it in our heads. Yeah. It's good. It's good.
It's good.
I would want to star that. I mean, like for me, like also like if it was up to me, I'd star all my nominations. But obviously, I'm not going to be like that. Like I think Terra's theme's really unique in the way that like it has that mystique, and then it has that fanfare that we talked about, the call to adventure. I'm just going to play that one part here. I don't think it's going to make the list because Mariel wanted to fight me off the top for even playing it. But I want to just
setting the scene.
Just setting the scene. Yeah. It's all cool. It's all good. I'll just part that little fanfare part that I love so much. This to me is quintessential Final Fantasy. Like you have the mystery at the beginning and it builds to this. And this is the call to adventure that we love in these JRPGs. And then goes back into it. Anyways, I think it's a brilliant song, but
It is good.
it's in hard competition. The only reason I would put it in here later, if we get to it, is that it's more than just. I don't want to be reductive to any of these songs, but it has more instrumentals that's going on into this song compared to things that are quote unquote just piano. But I'm not gonna go there yet because I don't know what the top 5 is gonna look like. It might not just be a whole piano list. Okay, the things that are starred is Cosmo Canyon from Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy X to Xanarkin, Final Fantasy VIII, Liberi Fatali, Final Fantasy VII, Battle Music, Final Fantasy XIV, The Copied Factory, Weight of the World Prelude version. I'm just going to keep calling it Copied Factory from now on. Star. Final Fantasy VIII, The Castle, and the opera from Final Fantasy VI. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Anything else before we move on?
I mean, it's Pride Month. I'm gonna stand up for real emotion. I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna pull that card on us.
I'm gonna pull all the cards.
In that case,
I think musically, if we're talking about curveballs and things that like you wouldn't expect to be on this list, I'm like, this J-pop song immediately I feel like needs to at least deserve another discussion as we go through this, again, very strong list of contenders.
No. I kid. We should have this on just to talk about it.
For sure.
Although I will say that
and not for Pride Month reasons.
No, because even Final Fantasy creators still don't get gay characters right in their games at all, or they don't even in the Final Fantasy 16, the game that we're like having this episode lead up to. There was a whole thing that they're like, well, I know it's like we're like medieval times, but and in this part of the world there would be black people, but there's no black people in this world, and it's like, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, no, they're saying like it's an aesthetic, and I was like,
I don't think you should say that.
It ruins the aesthetic, I think, is what Nomura said, and it's like, excuse me.
Yeah,
you mean
that's why Final Fantasy
aesthetic?
is like, it's still like, I love it, dear to my heart, but like there's still problems. Spencer, anything else?
No, I'm happy with what started there. Yeah.
Okay, and Mariel, you are good too.
Yes.
Okay, so the ones that aren't starred, we're gonna say goodbye to them. Terra's theme, Tifa's theme, the Ulda nighttime theme, Roses of May. And that's it. Everything else is starred. So we have 8 starred, and I'm going to read them one more time for you all. While I'm reading this out, we are going to do something called locks. And again, if you need to hear the song again just to see if it's a lock or not for yourself, then we won't lock it right away. We'll listen to it later. This is just to get a gut feel of what is likely going to make our top 5 list. So I'll read it to you guys. You'll say if it's a lock or not. No explanation needed. If it's unanimous, we move on. If someone's like, I don't know if this is a lock or not, we just move on again and be like, okay, we have to talk about it. Cosmo Canyon, Final Fantasy VII, lock or no lock? That one to me is a lock, but what do you guys think?
No.
No, yeah. Okay.
I'm not ready to lock it this time.
No worries. To Xanarkin.
I nominated, but
Nah, it's all good. To Xanarkin. Lock or no lock? I'd lock it.
I think I'm going to lock this one as well.
Lock.
Yeah.
Spencer, are you there? Not yet?
I'm going to hold off on that one. Yeah.
No worries. Liberi.
Do you want to get one each? Sorry.
No. We all get to just, I'll read it and just tell me if it's a lock or not. Liberi Fatali, lock or no lock?
Big old lock.
I think it's a lock. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll lock it too. I have things to say, but it's unlike any other Final Fantasy song, so it's kind of hard not to lock it because it's so impressive on that level. Final Fantasy VII's battle music.
Lock.
That's a lock. Not yet. Okay. Still waffling. Final Fantasy XIV, the Copied Factory final boss.
Lock. Sorry, gotta lock.
Yeah.
I'm gonna back it up. I'm gonna lock it.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not yet. I need to hear it again,
fair.
honestly, just to hear it again.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that one again too.
The Castle, lock or no lock?
That's a lock for me.
Lock. I'm biased.
Not for me.
I think I'm going to pass for this one.
Yeah. Sorry, I keep laughing. Final Fantasy X 2 Real Emotion, lock or no lock?
Big old lock, love wins, baby.
Okay. I'm a lock it. I wanted to nominate that. So yeah.
Spencer?
Not yet.
Yeah, me neither. That's
Why?
Maybe
That's a
later.
why.
Yeah, why? And
I'm not an ally.
and last one is the Final Fantasy VI, the opera song, Lock or No Lock.
That's a lock for me.
I think
That's
I
a lock.
would lock
I got a
that.
lock.
I'd lock
I
that.
gotta lock it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's so unique that it's like
That's very impressive.
they wrote a fucking opera.
It's very cool.
I don't even like opera music, but I like this one.
I also just I want to play that part of the game after you described it. Like you have to fake your way through an opera.
Yeah.
You don't know. That's a funny
And-
idea for a game.
What it leads up to, the fight that you fight later, at the opera, is fucking awesome. So
Wow.
it leads into a really cool boss battle. Okay, so we didn't narrow down too much, but a little bit. FF8, Liberi Fatali, and FF6, the opera, are locked. The ones that aren't locked, Cosmo Canyon, To Xanarkin, Battle Music Final Fantasy VII, Copied Factory from Final Fantasy XIV, The Castle, and Real Emotion. We need 3 to make this list right now. I think the one that we can probably start battling with each other are the battle songs, if you agree with that. So we can listen to both of them and then see which one we prefer. Because I think one of them should make the list. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay.
Should we consider the Weight of the World one a battle? I mean, it's played during a raid. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. The Copy Factory one. Weight of the World.
okay.
Yeah, that one. I don't know how else to say that. This has the longest title. Is it Copy Factory or Weight of the World? What is it? What's the name of the song?
Copied Factory is where you have the raid, I think.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So Weight of the World?
Weight of the World. Okay.
Remake. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to play Weight of the World from where I left off.
Those vocals are awesome.
Ooh. This is what gets
in the
this-
Final Fantasy.
This is
Classic
what gets
prelude
me.
theme. Ooh, gosh, every time.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. All right. I have a question about this song before, because I love what I'm hearing. This is the first time hearing it. It immediately grabs me, but I kind of want to know, and I know before I said, now I'm starting to nitpick, but before I was just saying I would count this as a Final Fantasy song because they inject Final Fantasy blood into a Nier Automata song. But I guess I'm not familiar enough. How much of this is really how much change is this compared to the original Nier Automata song?
Josh, I'd like you to go
I've
first.
played both, and I would be, and Mariel's watched both as well. So I just want to say, I think for sure the backbone of the melody very much Weight of the World, but everything around it has been Final Fantasy 5. So for
Final
sure,
Fantasy
Final Fantasy 5.
Final Fantasized.
Final Fantasy. No, for sure. I think the the big choral, the vocals,
those are amazing.
The little prelude. trill.
Yeah.
And the violins.
And the violins.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's there. I think that's that's blowing my mind about this piece. I think it's just, it feels. I recognize that it's from something else, but I'm it feels like it's from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I'm okay with it too. I guess I was only nitpicking in case someone was coming to me and being like, well, technically it's just another song. You know what I mean? But if you feel as though, and because you've played both, that it's its own thing, essentially, even though it's borrowing the elements of another game, then I'm okay with it too. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. It's worth listening to the one from Nier, because it is it's the same melody, but the vibe is different. I don't I don't want to use that word because it's female vocals. There's no that choral, the intensity. It's actually very, very. It's
stripped down.
It doesn't. It doesn't make my heart beat.
Muted. Is it more muted? And is it a battle song in Nier Automata?
It's the credit scene, right? At least that's where they play when all the different language. So that's another one. You have a female singer, and then more singers come in from like singing the same song in different languages, and that cute, beautiful. But yeah, I it's a little more solemn. I think that's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Okay. I like that reasoning. Okay. I'm going to play Final Fantasy VII's battle theme here.
That's the clang you're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. I never picked up on that before.
Man, this is tough because I'm battling so many different ideologies in my head right now as I listen through this. Like, one of them is that, like, the Final Fantasy 14 song is almost unfair advantage because this is the Final Fantasy VII original version, right? Like, it is that, like, stripped down version, like, kind of meaty style-ish, where the Final Fantasy 14... Oh, this part, though, fuck. And then, like, also, I have a lot of nostalgia for this song, so it's hard for me to separate myself from this. Yeah, shit. Yeah, where's everyone's heads at?
The battle song, Final Fantasy VII. I definitely I feel like I'm in a battle. I mean, again, it has a special place in my heart because the piano version, super intense.
Oh, can we hear that actually?
Yes.
It's from Advent Children. Like, even the moment it starts, it's mind blowing.
Okay, I'm gonna find it. One sec.
Yeah, I think just those. I really like that one, the Way of the World. I'm definitely gonna be listening to that a lot. But when it comes to battle music, just like it is the association, I'll admit that. But that music like is battle music. Like it just.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, here's I think this is it. Is it this?
Yeah.
Whoa, this is wild.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
And shout out because I think Tifa's fighting in this.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's cool.
Whoa, this is a really cool arrangement.
Yeah, that's awesome. Here, I'm gonna play because we're on this train here. I don't want to play too much of other stuff because we got other things to rank. But while we're here, here's the Final Fantasy VII remake of that song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
this
huge.
This is what I'd pit against the Final Fantasy 14 song. Like, this is like modernized, ready to fight.
Oh yeah.
Oh, baby. Maybe I'll try to see if I can get to that little stinger part that I love so much. Okay, here we go. I'm going to just skip ahead a bit. Here.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
more like undertones to like lift that part up.
Yeah.
And horns. Okay, all right. I'm gonna.
That's amazing.
Okay, here's the thing. As I was listening to that, I definitely you could totally do a mashup of Weight of the World with that song. That's the thing. Like, it is the quintessential sound, I think, of battle Final Fantasy music. And despite how much I love Weight of the World, I think it's because of all these different versions. I know neither the original one is the one that's nominated. I think it can be done in so many different ways and still have that battle feel. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy VII or the battle. That's the Tatakao Monotachi. Yeah.
I think you got it.
I love Weight of the World. It's beautiful, but again, it's like I heard Weight of the World in the remake version of it, and I think that's amazing, like mind blowing. So Final Fantasy VII. Sorry, self.
Yeah, for sure. I do want to I want to impress that. I think what they did to bring the DNA of Final Fantasy into Weight of the World. Amazing. But as we just listened to the 3 versions, I'm like, if I'm making a list of songs and I'm like, I need to pick out what I think is a quintessential Final Fantasy battle theme, I think it would have to be Those Who Fight. I think that's like,
Yeah.
that was the gut feeling that came up as we were like listening.
Totally.
Yeah, I think we're all there, right, Spencer? You're there too.
Yeah, and I love Way of the World, but the I think just head to head as battle music, just Way of the World almost has a sort of, and you said it's like the end credit music from Nier. It has this almost sort of resolved, triumphant feeling to the way those choir vocals ascend. Whereas the battle music feels very like it keeps you locked in conflict the whole time.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
It does feel like a victory fanfare.
Yeah,
kind
it does.
of.
Fanfare. That's exactly right.
Anyways, we're not there yet. Yeah, I honestly, when we first played the 2, my gut feeling was like, even though I love Final Fantasy 7, I was trying to separate myself from that. My gut was that I was like, oh, maybe Final Fantasy 4, the Weight of the World thing. Like, I think that was super impressive. I've never heard it before. It definitely got me going. It definitely got me excited. But then when we listened to the piano version of Final Fantasy 7 and then the remake version, it's just like this song has legs. This song has been remade a bunch of times, and yet it sounds good in whatever version we play it in. So I think that's where we're at. Okay, cool. So Liberi Fatali, Battle Music Final Fantasy 7, and Final Fantasy 6 Opera are locked in. We need 2 more. The other ones that we're fighting are going to fight each other. Cosmo Canyon, 2 Xanarkand, The Castle, and Real Emotion from Final Fantasy X-2.
Didn't laugh that time.
I didn't laugh that time. I held it in. I held it in because I'm gassy. Okay. What do we want to listen to next? Where are our heads at here?
I'd like to hear Cosmo Canyon again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a folk ballad. I love it.
There's like a confident march to this. Like, I feel like walking really slow and cool to this song, but like with purpose. Yeah. I'll just play a little bit more here. It is very different from what we have already on this list. But we'll put a pin on it. Let me find the tab here. Oh, I might as well get to the end here. Payoff.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay.
I feel we could pit this against The Castle in the same way we did The Battle, because both are like location area background music songs.
Okay. Let's give it a go.
I can see that.
Yeah. I like that. Here, listen to The Castle. Here it is. Spooky. Right off the get-go.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, this one's so cool.
Ooh. Okay.
Man, this one's got so much going on.
This is like completely different than what we first listened to.
It's sort of like in a castle of broken time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of that, yeah.
Huh.
And if I may add,
Yes,
what
please.
makes this beautiful, the mystery of who Ultimacia really is. Renoa. There are a lot of guesses. They never really tell you.
They don't tell you?
No, they never do. You kind of just have to assume. A lot of people think it's Renoa, and that adds to like the whole time travel theme of it, which this song for me is just plays with that secret.
Well,
you know,
how about you
'Cause
guys come over? I'll play the last boss.
I'll give you my brother's save file.
And you can give me your take on what's actually
Memory
happening. Huh. All right. I'll
I really
step
like
there.
this one.
Yeah, that one goes in many different places. It is an interesting one. Josh, where's your head at?
Here's where my head is at. And I think I'm also going to comment a little bit on real emotion here. I feel like the real difficulty with this list is that we could do so many episodes on this, just in like Final Fantasy dungeon music, Final Fantasy overworld music, Final Fantasy battle
Happy music. Like
music with lyrics. I think if I'm thinking sort of musically, I do feel like the castle is more interesting to me than it is Cosmo Canyon, which I love as a piece, but I do think it's more interesting to me.
Yeah. I know I see where you're coming from, and I won't fight that. Like the castle has a lot going on, which I enjoy. I think like melodically, I much prefer to listen to Cosmo Canyon. There's something more like simplified to it, where the castle is not really a song I'm going to listen to.
You can't hum along with it.
I'm not going to go boop-a-doop-a-doo-ka-dee-da-dee. Like I can't like we just listened to it, and I honestly cannot hum it back to you right now. I just like in my head there's just the organs that I would project on like a Castlevania, but then we got to that other part of the song where it's a little bit more, I don't want to say goofy, but it was just a little bit different, a little bit more like kooky, but a little bit like it could like bite you at any moment, you know?
I can hear the footsteps of your characters. Like,
so if we're talking about like a piece that kind of surprises you and does that kind of stuff, then yeah, I can go with the castle for sure. If we're leaning that
is
way.
this the last? Is this the fifth?
We need one more after. Are we okay on the castle then between the two?
I love it.
Okay. The other few we have is Real Emotion. I think we're at this point, we'll cut Cosmo Canyon and to Xanarkin. So 2 Final Fantasy 10 songs ish pitting against each other. Josh, I love you. It's to Xanarkin.
So this was.
Well, we got to listen to Real Emotion.
Oh, yeah. But give me your thing. Yeah.
This is where I was getting at earlier, which was if I had to make a list of a top 5 Final Fantasy like songs with lyrics, Real Emotion would be on there. But if it's up against To Xanarkin, even I have to back down with my pride. Pride. And you know what? I think To Xanarkin, love still wins. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Love will win anyway.
It's so... So if I remember correctly, they're singing on stage, but they're also, are they infiltrating something? Because like a bunch of people start fighting them around here.
Very specifically, Yuna is on stage right now, but it's a fake Yuna.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then the real Yuna busts onto the stage, and like they fight.
Yes. And Yuna in the original Final Fantasy X has like this beautiful kind of gown situation going on.
It's like very somber, like priestess vibe.
And 10-2 immediately she's in jean shorts, very tight jean shorts, and she's ready to kick ass.
And she's using guns. She's using
guns.
We're gonna introduce guns. Here they are.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta check this game out.
Oh, my favorite dress sphere.
The dress sphere. Yeah.
The dress sphere, the one where they're like animals. Is it Savage or something?
Yeah.
I mean, instant kill. It's a no-brainer, but it's at least beautiful.
I don't know if you want to play Final Fantasy X-2 before playing Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, maybe
for sure.
Do them in order.
Finish 10 first.
Yeah.
Finish 10 first, and if you had your fill, then maybe stop there. You can watch
are there other
Yeah.
Final Fantasy games that have songs with English lyrics?
Yes.
Several,
Eyes on Me.
Yeah, Eyes on Me is on Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy VI has the one that we just talked about, the opera one. And Final Fantasy IX has one too.
Memories of Life.
That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Melodies of Life.
Melodies of Life? That's it.
I think so.
Yeah.
And Final Fantasy X has Suteki Dane.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
You're right. Yeah,
okay. Here's to Xanarkin one more time. It's so beautiful.
It had to be.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's good. All right. How about I just read you guys what we have locked?
Okay.
Basically, we have our list of 5 here. Final Fantasy X, 2 Xanarkand. Final Fantasy 8, Liberi Fatali. Final Fantasy 7, Battle Music. Final Fantasy 8, The Castle. And Final Fantasy 6, The Opera. That is 5. Cool. So what would our number 5 be? And if we have to listen to a little bit, like for me, let's listen to Final Fantasy 8 again, Liberi Fatali, I think, because we only listened to it once. And I forget how it goes. Oh my God.
Right. So
Jesus. You know, Josh, you made a point about this versus One Winged Angel before. I see where you're coming from.
Right?
One Winged Angel is more popular, for sure, I think.
It's a great song.
It is.
This is better, I think.
yeah.
We don't get the Sephiroth. But
Oh, best part. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, One Wing Angel like sets this song up. This one just takes that everything you love about everything that was arresting about it, and just goes a million miles.
I can see that for sure. Oh man, that was good. Okay, so what is number 5?
Well, I think the one that we were like had the least unison on was The Castle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that would be 5.
Yeah. That's good.
Do we have one from every Final Fantasy, or not everyone? But
I think we have
they're all
2 from 8.
Do we have 2 from 8?
We have 2 from 8.
None from 9. Yeah, none from 9.
Wow, that is bananas. Because 8 to me, I know you love 8, Mario, but 8 is one of my least favorite Final Fantasy games.
I find that's why is there such division on 8? I noticed that a lot. Like a lot of Final Fantasy fans don't like that.
I like the game. I think it's great. It's just I don't know. The other ones hit harder for me emotionally. That's all.
And there are a lot of plot holes, I think. I mean, I even bought a book that's like the story of Final Fantasy VIII, but because they play around with like not alternate universes, but they play around with time travel, and that gets tricky, but they tried to be unique in that way. And I guess they left so much unanswered, and everybody hated the junction system. It's hilarious. It's like junctioning magic into different characters to change your abilities. Like you don't level up. And
I forgot about that.
You don't level
that
and
now.
It scales like there's someone who played it through at level like 1 or 10 or something, because it scales as you level up the difficulty of the monsters. And again, that was kind of like unique. I don't think they've done it again, but yeah, it was just too different.
You also have to like go to school in that game. Like you do
That's true.
tests.
You do exams.
You
actual exams, and they're not fun.
You get money.
They have a pretty good card battling thing going on in that game.
Oh, it's so good. They carried it over to Final Fantasy XIV.
Tetramaster.
It's Shuffle Boogie too. The song there, was one of my honorable mentions.
Interesting.
It's just
Okay.
I do also think musically, like, Spencer, I think you raised this, like whatever Uematsu did in 7, I think had a lot more room to experiment with in 8. So I think that might be like musically, in terms of the game, we're like, yeah. And in terms of like music, we're like, ooh, here we are. Wow. Okay.
And in terms of leading male characters, Squall wins.
I think Squall wins. I think Squall wins.
So cool. The gun.
So hot.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, that was scar on his.
The first time we ever seen a gun blade in like anything, and then
So cool.
ever since then, everyone's like, "Well, what if we put a gun on anything?" Okay, Final Fantasy VIII: The Castle is at number 5. What is at number 4?
The opera is my nomination.
The opera. Let me
You
play
can
a
fight
little
me.
bit of that just so we have it here. Okay, I just saw the little clip here. There's no timer. You just pick one of 2 options. And I believe if you get too many wrong, you have to start the sequence over.
Oh, you started over? Okay.
Yeah.
Josh never got it wrong.
No, I didn't. I memorized it. I knew what was happening.
Freaking nerd.
I'm going to be on stage. Putting on stage.
We-
I'm gonna rest my lights.
All right. Oh, it's beautiful. It is hauntingly beautiful, like you said, Spencer. But anyways, I'm okay with it at number 6 or number 4, I think.
Excuse me.
6. Yeah, get it off this list.
Honestly, I think I could be okay with that. I think dogmatically, I'm like, traditionally, this song has to be number 1. But
Sure.
also, I'm okay. It's a strong list. It's yeah.
Yeah.
I would be interested to hear what would be number 1 on this
Yeah,
list,
me
but-
too. We can
Yeah,
shuffle
same.
things. We can shuffle things because like I'm looking at the rest of what we have here, and I actually don't know what I would put. Oh, actually, I know what I would put. I think, but it's all strong. So like, let's put FF6 the opera at number 4, and then we can see where we're at. Because what is number 3? Because is it the battle theme song
I actually am gonna go for To Xanarkand.
to Xanarkand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
same.
Interesting, because that would be my number 1 out of the 3 that we have here. But I'm not going to fight too hard. I don't know. Yeah, I think for me, like To Xanarkand brings out more emotion for me. And out of the 3 songs that we have left, I think Liberi Fatali is the most like technically impressive song out of all of them that we have left here. There's just so much going on. But if I'm being honest, I don't really like want to put it on a lot of the times because it's just really intense, and it's I don't know. It doesn't scream to me like I'm just gonna throw this Final Fantasy song. If we have just like us are hanging out in our room, I put this song on. I don't know if I would enjoy that too much. But the other ones,
Oh, I do that all the time.
all the time. Invite
In
my
the
parents
shower?
over. Yeah, To Xanarkand has more emotion to me, and if like Final Fantasy VII battle song like that has like the most nostalgia to me, I think. And like it's
And
just
cultural cachet. Like I feel like
Yeah.
that's the one that most people could identify as Final
Sure.
Fantasy music
exactly.
without knowing that much about it. Because it's like that's the for example, in Smash Brothers, that's the musical identifier of
Sure.
Final Fantasy. They use the main one in that game. So-
And then they also use One Winged Angel, I think, in Smash
Right,
Bros.
yes,
too.
true.
Yeah, those two. But like I said, all 3 of them are really great pieces for different reasons. So I'd like to hear what you guys have to say for number 3.
I think I'm also feeling Liberi Fatali at number 3 is where I'm at.
Mariel's
And I
like,
think if I'm like ordering this in my head now, at the very least, I think I know what my number 1 would be, and I think it would be Those Who Fight. It is, there's a hipster inside me that's going like, oh, it's so basic. But I think as we've like talked about, there's a bunch of layers to, as with the rest of these songs. But I think there's a lot of things that are surprising about that song for a song that's so basic and emblematic of the series. That's where I would go for number 1, number 2, To Xanarkand, and then number 3, Liberi Fatali.
I could be okay with either battle music or Liberi Fatali at number 1 for just 2 different reasons that are sort of interchangeable. Liberi Fatali is just one of the most like epic, heart pounding fantasy like songs ever, in my opinion. And it's probably the one I have the strongest like emotional attachment to, just like remembering like watching that intro again and again. But then battle music to me is like it is it's funny, like the simplicity and the basicness of it could be seen as a knock against it, but the fact like it's simple and basic because it so perfectly encapsulates the feeling of like battling in a video game. It is like so the like quintessential version of that, and that's like, and the fact that it seems simple is its strength. Like that it does it almost like effortlessly.
Mm-hmm.
And also, again, if we're making top 5 Final Fantasy music, to me, like if I just go Final Fantasy music, like the first music that pops in my head is like either like da 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 or this, so
Totally. Interesting.
I think it's 1 and 2 either way, those 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was also at Liberi Fatali at number 3 too, but I could also just say To Xanarkand at number 3. And like, I don't want to downplay Liberi Fatali. I think it's like, again, on a technical level, it is a fucking beast of a song. I don't hum it the same way. Maybe it's because like it hasn't been shoved down my throat the same way that Sephiroth's theme song does. Because like Final Fantasy VIII has been pushed to the side in the pantheon of Final Fantasy songs. So it's kind of cool that we have 2 Final Fantasy VIII songs on this list.
Yeah.
And
It's
one
a great
of them,
soundtrack.
Yeah, it is really good. Okay. Yeah. Is that where we're at then? We'll do To Xanarkand 3, Liberi Fatali 2, and Those Who Fight at number 1.
I mean, I'll contest that, but I think I think that's the majority. I do want to plug in a little bit. My dream is to watch Distant World or Worlds.
Yeah.
And it's worth listening to Xanarkin in the orchestra version, because I think that adds like more emotion to it. And then I think the thing is, I think they always start with Liberi Fatali as the opening song, and you can hear the crowd just like, of course, like they go wild as that being the first song. And so personally, that's my number one. But again, the layers of Those Who Fight is, it's unbeatable. And I guess I don't feel nostalgic about it, but I can see how the rest of the world does. And so I respect that. I can go number one with that. Yeah.
Any three of those songs I could see as number one.
And so honestly, I'm like, I think To Xanarkin, I think is number 3 for me at this point. But I do think if we're all like, Super Fatale, sure. Actually, it is pretty cool to have like an FF8 song at the top of the list.
So if Liberi Fatali versus Final Fantasy, Those Who Fight, I mean, like we kind of made our list, but we haven't finalized it. Spencer, give me your final thoughts here. I'm okay either way.
Yeah. I could go. If we flip the first and second, I'm happy with either.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah,
that's interesting. That's interesting.
We have a top 4 and 2 number ones.
If it was just my call, like it was my list, I'd put Liberi Fatali at the top just because of just like that. It gets me like,
so that's what I want to know. That's what I want to know, because like if it was my
that Latin choir chanting is like something that pops up in a lot of Final Fantasy music, and there it just is used to, for me, the maximum effect.
For sure,
it just like grips me.
Yeah, that's why I can't deny that. Like it's such an impressive song on that. Like I will hum Those Who Fight way more often than I would ever hum Liberi Fatali. I can't even say the name right. But yeah. Chocobo. I'll still say that.
Chocobo Fatali.
Yeah, exactly.
Fatali.
With that said then, Josh, you're the final piece there. So you would be Liberi Fatali number 1 then in your head?
I'm truly okay either way. It's that close to me.
So I think with that in mind, because like I lean slightly on Final Fantasy 7 side, just slightly, but when we have Mariel and Spencer who have the unique perspective, actually they have more fervor, honestly, for Liberi Fatali, I think that should be our number 1 then.
Absolutely,
because their passion is more than my passion for Final Fantasy
Spencer,
because I would have chosen a different Final Fantasy 7 battle song as my other thing. I think I would have chose the boss battle song. That one. Bananas. Okay, here we go. We have our list here. Oh boy, what a list. Final Fantasy VIII, The Castle. I'm going to play a little bit of each, continuing from where I was. This is our number 5. Enter the Castle. Ooh. And number 4, we have the Final Fantasy VI opera song. Sing along if you know the words. Number 3, we have To Xanarkin. Should have been number 1. I'm just kidding. I just like my emotions just start tearing.
You can cry to this song. You can cry to this song
because as soon as you know the ending of this game, this song, it hits even more. Oh, it's crazy. Anyways, number 2, Those Who Fight. I'll play the original version. But the piano version, also fucking cool. The remake version, also very cool. And finally, our number 1 is... Oh yeah, Real Motion. You win, Josh.
Yeah.
Love wins all. Happy Pride, everyone. No, okay, here we go. I'll just skip ahead.
I'll be here.
Here I am, like,
why?
Yeah, trying to shit talk this song a little bit, but it's so good.
It's so good.
So that if you, what did you say? I wrote it down. So if you come here, you'll find me. I promise.
My favorite part is I'll be waiting here, and it's in quotation marks.
Listen to that song. It's crazy.
It's
that is our list of top 5 Final Fantasy songs. What a list, everyone. I loved it. How about we go into the honorable mentions, where for today's episode, honorable mentions, we are not going to list all of our songs for honorable mentions. We are only going to play one additional song, talk about it just a little bit. And for the rest of the songs, we're going to put on the website at www.podcavern.com. And if anyone has a song they want to play and are ready to go at any order, just tell me and I'll play it for a little bit.
I am ready.
All right, hit me.
From Final Fantasy X. Calm Before the Storm.
Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah. I love the instrumentation on this one.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the kind of a 60s, 70s folky vibe to it.
Macalania Woods, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Has that whimsical forest feel to it.
It's very nice. I'll play another little bit of this. Yeah, I was surprised. Did anyone have any Final Fantasy 12 songs on their list?
I recently played through it and I tried to think about what I would put.
Yeah.
Nothing came like strong into mind.
Yeah, I know. Actually, that's my least favorite Final Fantasy game.
Same.
This is a good pick, Spencer. Calm Before the Storm, Final Fantasy X. Yeah, Mariel. I don't know. I didn't connect with any of the characters. I just didn't care. I don't even know.
They tried the action RPG thing, but it made no sense.
I thought the battle was okay. The battle system was cool. The gambit system was really cool, but everything else was fine.
Yeah, I don't recognize these characters at all. I'm looking it up.
There's some of them from Tactics, Final Fantasy Tactics. The main character is.
It's the universe that they're in. I think it's called the Ivalice sort of like universe, and so they draw a lot of like the same like setting ideas from that universe. It can be hit or miss if you don't like the high fantasy stuff.
Totally.
Sure.
Josh, Mariel, anything else that you want to throw in here for the honorable mentions for me to play? Yeah. Mariel, you're next. Okay, here we go. This is Distant Worlds 2 to Xanarkand.
Oh, nice.
The better version? Question mark? The version I should have nominated?
That's another episode.
Sounds pretty fucking same to me. I'm just kidding. Oh, shit.
Oh, there it is. Focus soon.
God damn it.
Oh, wow.
Wait for the best part.
Okay. Here. God damn it. This version has the little orchestral like undertone to like lift the melody a little bit. I like that.
But it doesn't take away from the beauty of the piano. And in fact, I think it gives it's glorifying it with that moment of silence and let's come back to the piano.
And they play it louder, obviously. Like there's different levels to like how this melody is being played compared to like the regular version. Yeah, it's nice.
Ooh, wow.
All right, redo the list, everyone. No, very beautiful. Josh, hit me.
Yeah, I've got one. This one's for Mariel. It's for Final Fantasy 14.
Oh,
14. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Here we go.
Takes a lot of big swings.
Whoa. This is not what I expected.
This is the Aractica Greatwood from Final Fantasy 14.
Wow, I don't think I know this.
Yo, this is sick.
Whoa.
Big forest theme. I think Tuong should be seeing like somebody flying on like a griffin.
Yeah, and they're not naked, which is weird.
Yeah. I found out about the song through a different video in which the composer plays the song but with an omatone.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's bad. It's not a good cover.
No.
He was making fun of himself. But
Look at this
the
drums.
song. And I was like, ooh,
This is amazing.
right?
Ooh, yeah. I'm into it, man. This is
This
really
plays
cool.
during like gameplay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to focus on the game. I just
Me neither.
Well, Spencer, I'll tell you what, the gameplay is not as riveting as the
Not
song.
worth it.
okay, so the music is compensating for everything.
Yeah, right
Just
now.
for the first 60 hours.
They're flying through a
Big deal.
forest, they're flying through a woods, and there is a lot of trees, but I don't see any enemies and no signs of any other life. So,
Hold on, I gotta see this.
yeah. Yeah, great,
That
great.
was really cool.
Cool pick, Josh. All
If I
right.
played more FF14, probably would have been on.
I don't know if I want to go back. I didn't even play 15 yet.
Eventually.
I haven't played 15 yet, and that's an easier goal for me to do. But 16's coming, so I'm going to definitely play that. I'm going to finish us off with a snippet of 2 songs, and I know I'm cheating, but I am the host, so I can do this. But I'm going to show you what my original first nomination was going to be before Terra's theme, because it plays at the beginning of a Final Fantasy game, and I think it just sets up the excitement for adventure right away. So I'm going to play a little bit of this. This is the bombing mission from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it's the first thing you do is this thing plays and you jump off a train and you immediately start fighting people. Let's see if we get to the little stinger.
A good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
Let's get fast forward a little bit to get to the little like main part of the song. Hang on.
I almost feel like it's gonna bust into the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, a little bit.
Or Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Wow, now I don't want to listen to this song.
Oh no!
No, just kidding. But
that's great.
the battle song that I was gonna pitch to you all, my favorite battle song in Final Fantasy, it flips, but this one's near and dear to my heart. It's from Final Fantasy VI. It's this one here.
Yep.
Oh, I love that. The drums.
Yeah.
It kind of has the same vibe. Sorry.
Look at that.
But for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
kinda.
Final Fantasy VIII. This reminds me of the Final
Yeah.
Fantasy VIII battle song.
This one's better.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry to poop on your
Oh, you're not.
dreams.
Final Fantasy VIII is borrowing from the best Final Fantasy game, which is 6, in my opinion.
Kind of reminds me of Mega Man.
It keeps going. It definitely pumps me up. I think it's great.
That's great. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that we've established that Uematsu was probably on a deadline. Was like, I'll just let me just look over over at my old work.
Yeah. And see what
Okay,
happens.
here it is.
Change
Yeah.
a note. Change a note.
Yeah. I do want to shout out though, like I will include things in this list for our playlist. I have a few Final Fantasy 13 songs I really liked.
Me too.
And I had one from 15 that I heard in just like I've never played that game, but I was listening to the soundtrack and there's one that really stood out to me. So there's definitely stuff outside of what we've nominated today, but I don't think our audience is going to see, and don't get mad at us. You're not going to see anything from Final Fantasy 4 or 5 because I've never played it. I heard 4 is very good.
There's some great tracks. I'm sure I'm going to add one now to my mentions list.
We'll do that later. But for now, this episode has gone long enough. We have adventured, we have leveled up, we have defeated the many bosses with the thousands of final forms that it has. And we are at the end of the episode. So before we go, of course, I have to thank Mariel, Josh, and Spencer for being on the podcast. Spencer, do you have anything to plug for the people at home?
You can just go to spendmore.com, and that's where I post my music, my little cartoons. I'll have something new up there next week. So I don't know when this comes out, but
Maybe 2 weeks, I think. Or actually, it might come out next week.
Okay, cool. Well, there'll be something pretty fresh up there to watch, a new cartoon I made. So
fantastic. And my last question to you, Spencer, is what are we ranking next for video game theme songs? No real music, though. We don't do that.
Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, shit.
Has great music.
Oh, shit.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Mega Man music is great. I don't know how familiar you are with Mega Man music. But
very. Kirby?
Don't know Kirby music. I obviously know all the hits, but I haven't played as many Kirby games.
We'll figure it out. We'll make you just do the homework like you did.
Kirby has great music, though.
We'll figure something out. I'm sure. Persona, Josh.
Oh, hey, I would.
I know you would. I know. There's too much to
We had a Persona song in our chill.
We did. Yeah. That soundtrack slaps. I just finished that Persona 5 Royal game. It was 105 hours. Yeah, it was a long time. Mariel, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for the nominations. Thank you for going easy on me. I figured, like, once I did my first nomination, I'm like, oh, this is how it's going to go. Hey, make a friend and immediately make an enemy.
Gunblade came out.
I'm very passionate about Final Fantasy.
It's okay. It's because I dressed as Squall's nemesis in this podcast, which is why Mariel hated me from the get-go. I'm some sort of time travel evil lord. I don't know. But do you have anything to plug for the people at home? Anything at all?
I don't have any specific plugs except support the AAPI in your community, respect LGBTQIA plus rights, and take care of your mental health.
That's an amazing plug. Thank you for saying that. Josh, what do you have to plug for the people at home?
Yeah, I'm an improviser and comedian in Ottawa. I also teach through a school called the Improv Embassy. You can find classes and workplace workshops online at theimprov-embassy.com. We're there. We hang out. We're chill. Things are happening in Ottawa.
Incredible. Yeah, finally comedy is back in Ottawa, and it's because of Josh, everyone. So if you like it, thank him. And if you don't like it, don't come after him, I guess.
Yeah. Come after Tom.
Come after me. Yes, I'm in a different city. And you don't want to fight Josh because he knows Final Fantasy music and he knows how to use giant axes and fight with jean shorts on and do dressier shit. Microphone. Yeah. For myself, you can find the rest of the shows in the Pod Cavern at www.podcavern.com. Check out all the shows there. And again, we will have the playlist on the website as well and all our social media channels. But until next time, I want to play us out with a little ditty. Oh, yeah. Bye, everyone.